Ryan Garcia just sold out the fight against Roelly Romero. My boy, how do you lose to Roelly Romero? And it's not like Roelly had a completely dominant performance. Ryan Garcia just was not engaging at all with Roelly Romero. He couldn't do anything. He couldn't set up traps. He didn't use the jab to create combinations. Nothing. No movement in the center line. He just didn't engage at all with Roelly Romero. And for that, all Roelly did was just completely outbox him. And in the second round, he got dropped by Roelly Romero. Like, my boy, what is going on? You're supposed to be the next big thing of boxing, and you're selling out to a guy that lost to Isaac Cruz, Gervonta Davis. Like, Roelly up until this point was not looking good as a boxer. And then tonight, he pulled off the performance of his life. Look, I'll give Roelly credit. He put on a good performance against Ryan Garcia. I just felt that Ryan Garcia could have just done more. He looked so unprepared for this fight. Look, he's been a year sober, but he walked into that fight very timid, very awkward. He felt nervous. It's like he didn't want to be there. The performance that he showed, it showed like he just didn't want to be there, and he was not ready to box yet. I mean, Ryan Garcia had a year-long layoff due to the suspension that he got caught up with Osterine, due to the win he had against Devin Haney last year. But now, ever since the suspension, my boy, you were better off having a camp, fucking bagging broads and sipping on fucking beers and all, bro. Like, you were better off doing that shit this camp, bro, because at least you would have walked into this fight oozing with confidence. You would have been walking into this ring, walking in ready to kill Roelly Romero. But tonight, you didn't have that edge. It looked like Ryan just didn't have that fire, that desire to go in there and win. It was a horrible performance overall. And man, look, I'm going to get into Devin Haney soon, but dude, I sure as shit, after watching the Devin Haney fight, I sure as shit thought it couldn't be worse than that. And Ryan Garcia, you topped it off quite worse than Devin Haney's fight. And Devin Haney is one of the most boring boxers in boxing. Like, how is it possible, Ryan? Like, look, I'm a big Ryan fan, so I might be joking around and saying all this bullshit about Ryan, but deep down, I was rooting for this man to win. I was rooting for Ryan Garcia to take this W, but he looked like he did not want to fight at all. And Ryan, if you needed more time to prepare yourself for this fight, take the time. Now you just lost to Roelly Romero, and you just ruined the opportunity of fighting Devin Haney again. That's probably not going to happen unless you fight another fight to make yourself look good again. Because Golden Boy gave you a tuna fight on a silver platter. They gave you Roelly goddamn Romero, bro. He's all name. It's all bravado. And you went there and shit the bed. You shit the bed in this fight. And it wasn't due to anybody. It was due to you. You could have won that fight. You were getting the better of him after the third round, up until the third and the seventh. After the seventh, you shot the bed. You didn't engage. You didn't throw your jab. You didn't try to set up the left hook because Roelly is chinny. We know this. You made Roelly look like goddamn Floyd Mayweather out there. How? Ridiculous, man. Now moving forward, I don't know what's going to happen with Ryan Garcia. He's probably going to have to fight somebody else. I don't know who the hell they're going to give him. I don't know who they got lined up for him. But all the superstardom, all the built-up momentum that he had up until the Devin Haney fight, it's gone. It's all gone. The name, the status, it's gone. You lost to Roelly, bro. Either you run it up on a rematch with him as soon as possible, or you find another tune-up fight, because the Devin Haney fight ain't happening. I sure as shit know Devin Haney's going to do everything he can to not get his hands on you because you lost. He's going to go for Roelly. He's going to go for Boots. He's going to try to get maybe Crawford fight. Fuck it, maybe the Canelo fight. Buddy, he's going to want no part with you. What are you doing, Ryan? Why'd you sell us all out, man? Why? Why? But yeah, no, it's honestly frustrating that Ryan Garcia lost. It is so frustrating. I hope he comes back better. I wish him nothing but the best, but dude, it sucks. As a fan of yours, it sucks to see you lose like this. All because you didn't want it enough in that ring tonight. Very disappointing. It is what it is. We move on to the Devin Haney fight, man. And look, I thought nothing could have been worse than this. I really thought, because Devin Haney fought horrible tonight. He did not look good. He looked shaky. He looked tense. He did put on some muscle, which was very noticeable from his previous fight against Ryan. But he just looked so awkward in there. His footwork was weird. He wasn't popping the jab enough. He wasn't throwing enough punches. He was staying in the back foot. He wasn't persistent. He was fighting the fight he usually fights. But it was just a lot less output than his usual fights. I don't know how to explain it. Devin Haney is already boring. Now you add the boring times 10 to this fight, because that's what it was. Because Devin Haney barely threw any punches. You barely saw him throw any damage, whether it be with that check right hook, whether it be with the uppercut with the left, or anything. The jabs, lackluster at best. The fight was just awful. And Jose Ramirez, he didn't do shit. Jose Ramirez couldn't even, all he did was just push the pace of the fight. He couldn't throw a jab. He couldn't throw any combinations. He didn't set any traps for Haney. Haney just had a field day, and he got absolutely lucky. He got lucky that they gave him Jose Ramirez, because if he fought a Roelly Romero that night, he could have looked like Ryan. If he fought anybody else with any technical ability that would have pushed the pace and put him on his toes, Devin Haney would have been cooked. He would have been cooked. He would have been thrashed on the ground. He would have been beat up. It would have been embarrassing for him. But, he left unscathed. He did what he had to do to win the fight, and that was the bottom line. At least he took the W, unlike some people. At least he took the goddamn W. Shit, man. That's all I really got to say. Now he's probably going to fight Roelly. He's got himself lined up for some big fights. And now, look, Ryan's out of the picture. That's it. That's really what it is now. Ryan's out of the picture. That's all it really is. But the last fight we got to talk about, it was a triple header. We got to talk about Teofimo Lopez beating Arnold Barboza. And quite frankly, I'm not going to say this was the best fight of the night, but performance-wise, I felt that Teofimo, out of everybody that fought tonight, maybe besides Roelly, he put on the best performance. Because Teofimo was on fire, man. The first 8 rounds against Arnold Barboza, he was killing him, man. He was tapping him up with that jab. He looked so quick. He looked so precise. Arnold could have hit him with shit, man. He couldn't. He got caught up a couple times, but for the most part, he was tapping him up with that jab, catching him with them right hands, building up combinations, going upstairs, downstairs, you name it. Teofimo was cooking, man. That was it. Teofimo was on fire. He made sure to put on a show that night, because you could tell this boy, Teofimo Lopez, wants the big fights. He put on probably, arguably, the best performance I've seen him put on. This shit looked just as good as when he fought Lomachenko. Like, that's how on fire Teofimo Lopez looked tonight. He was putting on a show. Incredible performance. Top tier. Sensational. All I gotta say. It looks like he wants to fight Boots, which, honestly, it's a great fight. And if he fights Boots, man, he's going to put in some work. I think he could win that fight. Because if he fights the way he fought against Arnold Barboza tonight, sure as shit, I think he's going to win that. He looked fantastic. Teofimo fought like that every time he stepped into that ring. I genuinely think anybody in between 140 147 pounds can't beat him. They can't. They can't touch the guy. He looked phenomenal. And I'm ready to see him fight Boots. I'm ready to see him get the big paydays, man. Shit, give him Devin Haney. But overall, it was cool to see a boxing event in Times Square. It was cool. I felt like the fights weren't good enough. The Devin Haney fight was terrible. It was brutal to sit through. The Ryan Garcia fight, it had its moments, but it wasn't great either. Like, after the 7th round, Ryan stopped engaging. You see Roelly Romero slowly fading away. He started slowing down, but he was the bigger aggressor in that fight. Overall, cool scenery. I don't know if we need to go back to Times Square again. I don't think there's no need for that. It was cool once. I don't think it should happen again. What do you guys think of the fight? Let me know in the comments below. Anyways, people, the Fighting Gringo, make sure to subscribe.